When I think back over my life, if someone had told me then that I would one day teach in college, I would have said, "You're crazy." I was born into a very, very poor family. My dad had a 4th grade education, my mother a 5th grade. I had typhoid fever when I was 4 years old and was not expected to actually make it. One of our relatives had given us an old battery-operated radio, and I would seek out classical music on the station. I started thinking that I had been adopted because I was so different.
The clothes that he wore were made out of grain bags. They wanted to pull him from school to pick cotton, and he wanted more for himself. He started off running away from home at 13 to 14 years old and was helped along the way by different people. And the first was a teacher that allowed him to stay at her house, and sure, that would be, quite controversial back then.
Grace Cowden, she supported me. She saw the potential I had for learning and really pushed me hard. I was determined that I was going to finish high school. Then from there, I went to college. It took me up until I was 21 before I finally heard a clear presentation of the gospel. And it was as if someone flipped a switch and the lights came on and I could see clearly. And that's the first time I had heard I had nothing to do with my salvation. Christ had already done what I needed. That made a huge difference in the way I lived and looked at things from then on. When I came to Gordon, there actually was no music department. We were in an old carriage house. When it rained, rain came through the wall back of my desk and ran right across the floor and out. So I started working immediately, trying to determine what standards needed to be set.
They had 5 music majors when he began, and he knew in order to get NASM accreditation, he needed a minimum of 25. And as he was putting accreditation plans together, students continued to enroll, and he not only had the 25, but then he had 50, and then all the way up to more than 100 majors. To see him working with students even now, you can just see the passion and the joy and the light in his eyes, to hear them singing and to talk about music and what's going on in their lives. His vision and his desire for a rigorous music education in a Christian setting, building up Christian leaders who are followers of the Lord, but who are excellent musicians.
He created an incredible legacy. He has thousands of devoted students, alumni. He really made something of the music program at Gordon, and he made it recognizable.
I used to have these little sayings on my wall in my studio, but one of them was hope and practice, but never hope more than you practice. You were molding not only musicians, but you were molding character, you were molding a work ethic, and also who gave them their talent to begin with and why they should develop it, not just for themselves, but for Christ. It wasn't easy, but when I look back on it, I wouldn't change one thing, because I think sometimes hard things are the best teacher. God fulfilled his promise that he shall direct your paths. It's only because of my faith and acknowledging him and trusting in him that he has brought me to this point.